Hey everyone, welcome back to the Lara Arts Corner, Art with Mr. Cervantes, and you're here for week number seven. And this week, Art with Mr. Cervantes is coming to you in 3D. You'll find out how in just a little bit. I want to start by saying thank you to everyone who's been sending in the butterflies. I've gotten some great work as always, and I'm really excited to show you guys all the work next week. I tried going outside today. You know, the weather was supposed to be nicer. There were no tornadoes in the area, but here's what happened.
Yeah, it's a little too hot out here still. Nope. Going back inside. This is not going to work.
So as you can see, it was just too hot out there. Mr. Cervantes does not function well in 90-degree weather. Let me tell you, if I'm not at the beach, not dealing with it. Anyway, so we're staying inside. Let's get started. For week number 7, I want to talk about what's considered the best tool in the world, our hands. Coming right at you in 3D. The hands are considered the best tool in the world because they're part of our everyday life. We do everything with our hands. We work with our hands. We have, historically captured our food. We've prepared our food to survive with our hands. We communicate with our hands. Look at sign language, how that's helped all the people who've had that disability be able to communicate with one another. They allow us to help each other. Anybody ever say to you, can you lend me a hand? Right? Asking for help. If somebody puts their hand on your shoulder, if you're feeling down, it's a way to help people feel better as well. So the hands are important, and they're also an important symbol. Throughout history, people have left handprints in different places as a symbol of themselves, as a way to show the world that at some point they existed and become part of history. For example, there's places throughout the southwest of this country, like in Utah or New Mexico, where you have structures such as these. And in these areas, the Native Americans who live there would leave handprints around the places where they would live. They would use a process where they used what was the first kind of paint ever invented. It was called ochre. And it was a paint that they would make from scraping away certain colors off of rock, like the one that you see here. The reddish color that you see on there is what they would scrape and turn into a powder, which would then be mixed with water to make a paint. So they would put this paint in their mouth, and when they put their hands on a wall, they would spit at their hand and leave the mark against that wall. And you saw this in different places throughout the world, in Asia, in Africa, and actually there's a cave in Spain. I believe the cave is called El Castillo, the castle. And this cave has the oldest artwork inside. And part of that artwork is handprints that were created using this technique. The scientists did some testing and they found that these handprints were about 40,000 years old. So it's the oldest kind of artwork. But these people did this in a way to leave their mark, to become a part of history. And so for this week's project, I wanted you guys to work on a project that included working with your hands. You're going to use your hands to make something about your hands so that you can take your turn in leaving your mark in this time and place in history. And what you're going to be doing is creating 3D hand art. Let me explain how it works. You're going to need a sheet of paper and a pencil to start. Okay? Like this. You're going to take your hand and trace it very lightly with a pencil. You go all the way around all the fingers until you end up with a handprint like this. Okay? Then you're going to take either a pen or a marker and you're going to start a tracing process kind of like this. Let me show you a little clip. So as you saw in that little clip, there was a pattern to what you do. Any place that you're working with the background of the picture, it's a straight line. Any place that you have your hand, it was a curved line. Whether it was the back of your hand, which was the larger sections, or your fingers, little by little, it started to take shape and you started to see a 3D version or a 3D drawing of your hand. So once you're done with that, you have an option. You can leave it in black and white. Maybe you just did yours in pencil or pen, or you can start to add color. For mine, I used 7 different color markers, and I used 7 because this is week number 7. It's up to you however you'd like to do that. But you start coloring the stripes. You can do a pattern where you have a variety of different colors just randomly selected. You can choose 3 colors and just repeat the 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 from top to bottom. It's completely up to you, just like some of these examples. Okay. Once you're done, you're going to have this beautiful full color copy of your hand. And so that's going to be what you're going to be able to keep as a memento, something to remember yourself in this time and place. You can sign your name, you can put the date on there, and keep that. If your family has a photo album, if you have a folder with papers and things that are memories, keep it in there. Have your family create their own copies, and you can have a family collection of your 3D handprints that you can all sign and date, and you can look at years from now and remember what you were doing during this time and place. Hopefully you remember Mr. Cervantes' art class and some of the things that we did together. Hopefully you remember some of the memories that you and your families are creating during this time and place. Hopefully you have happy memories that you'll be able to share in the future with other family members. And then maybe you pull out your drawing and you talk to them about that and how you made your mark in this time and place, and you're going to be able to share that forever. And so that wraps it up. Once again, on behalf of the Lara Academy Arts Corner, I'm Mr. Cervantes, hoping that you guys are remaining safe, healthy, and staying creative. I will see you next week for week number 8. Oh wait, almost forgot. If you have any questions, rcervantes@cps.edu in 3D, or reach out to me through the Google Classrooms, and I'll get back to you with answers to any questions you might have as soon as I can. See you guys later.